Well, hello and good night. Hopefully for tomorrow, everybody is off work, celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday on tomorrow. Thank the federal government for giving us that holiday. But in the interim, before we even start on the celebrations on tomorrow, I am going to bring you a red velvet cake. Not just any red velvet cake, but a vegan style red velvet cake. So it's a red velvet recipe that my mom, anybody know my mom, she's an excellent cook and she's excellent at making cakes and various other things. So I am taking her recipe and I'm going to adapt it where needed, replace anything that is dairy, and I'm going to fill that in with a vegan substitute. So let's get started. Thank you for joining me today. Today is the vegan version of the red velvet cake. Thank you. All right, so I'm in someone else's kitchen. I'm actually in my cousin's kitchen, and so far they made the traditional red velvet cake, traditional way with the dairy and all of that. And so I'm just gonna put a little spin to that, and I'm gonna bring to you the vegan version. Now, with that, we're gonna have the kids, because we have 3 kids over here. We're gonna have them do the taste test, not tell them which one is the vegan and which one is the regular, and we'll get the true opinion of how it tastes, which one they like better. So stick with me. It's a very quick and easy recipe. So for this recipe, the first thing you want to do is to put in your dry ingredients. So I'm going to mix in my dry ingredients, such as I have 1.5 cup of sugar. And of course, you know me, I'm using organic sugar. That's 1 cup of organic sugar. All right. The next thing, so with the recipe, you want to do all your dry ingredients first, and then you come back with your red ingredients. But everything is put together, but it's just the stacking and the layering of what's important. All right, so the next thing I want to put in is 2 teaspoons of cocoa.
It's orange, it's orange, it's orange. You just saw orange milk. It's like I'm about to kill you.
Those are the 2 teaspoons. And I put that into the mixture. Excuse the background noise. My little cousin is extremely vocal. He's extremely loud. So excuse us for that. The next thing we're going to put in is 2.5 cups of flour. Now, I can sift the flour. And this is organic flour I'm putting in. Alright. Now this process takes a little time, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this done. Alright, so that's like 1.25 cups, and then I'm putting in the other 1.25 cups of flour. Alright, now I'm going to show you how it looks so far. So far those are the dry ingredients. They're in there. Now, next it calls for 1 teaspoon of salt. And it's not my pink Himalayan sea salt, but I'm going to use it anyway. Alright. And then 1 teaspoon of soda. And soda is baking soda.
Right.
So I'm going to put that all in there. Now, I'm going to give that a whirl, and then I'll be back with you.
Orange.
Alright, so I'm just going to try my best to blend this all together. I didn't bring my whisk, so hopefully it is going to blend together evenly. And I'll let you see how it looks. Now, I'm not using a whole lot. Now, sometimes when you have a red velvet cake, it tastes really cocoa-y. That's because they use a lot of cocoa. I'm not a big fan of the cocoa taste. So I use that for this recipe. I use the exact what they asked for. And that's just 2 teaspoons of cocoa. So it's not overpowering. I do not like an overpowering cocoa tasting red velvet. I don't know. It does something with my psyche. Alright, so I'll just let you see how they mix. So you can barely see the cocoa in there. And I like that. Alright, so next I'm going to start adding in my wet ingredients. Now for this recipe for wet ingredients, they asked for 2 cups of Western oil. So this is my 1st cup of oil. And then I'm going to put in the second cup of oil. Now, as you see right here, everything that I've added so far has no dairy in it. And you want to make sure when you're using the cocoa, it is the pure cocoa. And it's not added with any dairy or anything like that. So this is the second. That's the second cup of the oil. Now, it also requires or asks for you to use 2 eggs. Now, I am using the egg replacement. So I'm not using egg, but egg replacement. And I have that mixed up. So it's like 2 tablespoons of the egg replacement with 4 tablespoons of water. So I'm going to put that in here. You see that? It's a little, consistency is a little different than what you're used to. But I'm going to go ahead and put that into this mixture. It's a little putty gutty like, but if you've seen my last videos, you've seen how I used this when I was making my vegan jalapeno bread, and so that came out really well. I've used this before, so it comes out pretty well. I have to get as much of that egg out as possible. Make sure it's the 2 eggs that are required for this particular recipe. Now, I'm just letting you know beforehand, this is my very first time attempting to make this red velvet vegan cake. So work with me and pray with me that it's going to come out successful. Now, you need 2 1-ounce bottles of red food coloring. So I have the red food coloring. If you use gel, I guess that's fine. But if you can get the organic kind, that's perfect. So I'm going to pour that in. Alright. Now, I'm actually using red and pink because I think that's going to give it a really pretty color. Alright. And then after that, I am putting in 2 teaspoons of white vinegar. What did I do? My white vinegar. Oh, here it is. It's in a black container, so it's hard to see. My white vinegar, 2 teaspoons. On top of that, we are going to use 1 cup of buttermilk. Now, of course, I'm not using buttermilk, but I'm trying out and pray that this goes well because I'm using almond milk. But I tried this Oak brand, Planet Oak milk, and then I added the vinegar into there and let it sit and let it curl like buttermilk. So let's pray over this. Amen. Alright, so that's the 1 cup of the buttermilk. And then it asks for 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So I'm going to pour that all in there. Alrighty. Now stir this all up. Now, there is a lot of oil in this cake, and it should be called an oily red cake. But it's not an oily red cake, it's a red velvet cake. But it is a lot of oil in here. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and make sure I blend and mix this together as well, and then I'll put it in the blender. Now, since I'm not using my blender, hey darling. Since I'm not using my blender, I'm going to ask for assistance of how to start this blender. But I just want to make sure I can get this at least mixed together a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to let you see how it looks. Now, it's a beautiful color. I'm just praying that at the end that this red velvet vegan cake turns out as what I'm praying for. Alright, so I'll let you see. It's not all blended up, but it will be in one moment. Let me get these kids in the background to quiet down a little bit. Stand still. Hey, I need you guys to calm down. Stop bouncing. We discussed it. People underneath. Where is your Princeton? Princeton. That's not a playground. No. Because if you're candy, we're going to have to... Leave. Okay, I'm back. I had to talk to the kids. And I have to get this blended here.
Okay, sweetheart. Okay,
Now,
so,
what do we do to blend that?
okay.
It's my assistant.
we're gonna unlock the KitchenAid mixer. Unlock it. Okay, not that part right there, just this. You're gonna you're gonna lock that in place. Then you're gonna put this back down and you're gonna lock it. And then you're gonna put it on the speed that you want. You ready?
Yeah.
You got all your liquids?
Yes. Everything's in there.
Everything's in there? Okay.
All right. So, guess what? It'll be ready in a moment.
And then you're going to, well, you know what to do for you.
Then I just line my thing and pour it in.
Line your pans with wax paper and, oh, you got it on the little stand. That's
Right.
cute. Okay. That's all you do. And
At least
turn it off.
3, not 6.
You turn it off and then you turn it off and then you unlock it and take your batter and pour it in your pan.
All right. See, I'm being schooled. This is not my kitchen. I'm in someone else's kitchen trying out this vegan recipe. You know, I had to have other people to try it out. I can have a cake at home by myself because it would probably take me a whole year to eat it. So I came over here. Like I said, they were making the regular, I'll let you see, the regular red velvet cake. And, you know, I wanted to make sure and bring to you guys the vegan red velvet cake. So I'm going to let that blend just a little more or mix a little more, and then I'll get to pouring. But in the interim, I'm going to go ahead and spray my cake pan. Oh, this is looking really good. So I'm going to say that it's done mixing. I'm going to stop it, turn it off. I'm going to unlock. And I'm going to pull out. Oh, you see how gorgeous? Can you see that? You see how gorgeous that looks? Beautiful. I love that color. That pink and red really makes it pop. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Let's see. I don't want to make a mess, but I do want you to see how gorgeous this looks.
He does that when he wants to apologize for something that he did very wrong.
Okay, so this looks beautiful. I'm just gonna hold this up so you can see it in a moment. Beautiful. Look at that. That's beautiful. Just thinking about 20-25 minutes, this cake will be done. And then we move on to making the icing, which is going to be vegan cream cheese icing. See how beautiful that is? And velvety smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this into my pre-greased pan. I probably should put some flour in here, but I'll put a little flour in here just in case. Alright, I'll put a little flour in just so it won't stick. Along with the grease, so hopefully it'll be okay. We'll find out. This is all a mystery. This is all the first time. Just think, I get this perfect, then you'll get it perfect. Okay, so now I'm gonna pour that into the pan. And I'm only doing like a one layer because it's a pretty deep cake pan. So I'm gonna do one layer. I'm gonna get as much of this batter as possible. And it's gonna rise. It's not gonna rise a whole lot, but it's going to rise some. So make sure I get as much of the cake batter out as possible. We still have quite a bit in here. back in the day when my mom used to make cakes, she used to give us the pan and the spoon, or the bowl and the spoon. But you know, kids nowadays, they don't know anything about that. If I ask them if they wanted this bowl, they'd be like, "Why would I want the bowl? Ooh, what am I doing with that?" So I don't even do that anymore. I don't even ask or try, because they miss out on a lot in their childhood. Things we used to do, the best parts of baking of our parents and grandparents, we look forward to doing was getting the spoon or the bowl, right? Okay. So I'm clean off the sides there and dump this into the sink. Okay, and there you have it. So it is all ready. It's set, and I am going to now pop this into the oven for about 20. Let me check on the time. I think it's like 20 minutes on 300. Now she said her oven cooks a little faster, so instead of putting it on 350, which the recipe calls for, you put it in the oven for 20 minutes on 325. So I'm gonna pop this in the oven in the center aisle to get it evenly baked. All right, and here we go. Okay, so I'm not going to hold you up. I'm going to go ahead and set that timer, and then I'll be back with you with the finished product. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for taking time out of your life Thank you for taking time out of your life to share in my life. And if no one has said that to you, until I come back, I love you, but I'll see you in about 25 minutes when I bring the cake out the oven. Thank you. Bye-bye.